Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Presidency of Burkina Faso for putting this important subject on the agenda of the Security Council. In recent years, drug trafficking has emerged as a leading threat to international peace and security. We see this most clearly in Afghanistan, Colombia, and Myanmar, where the production and trafficking of illicit drugs fuels brutal and long-standing insurgencies. But in many other places too, in West Africa, Central Asia, Central America, the Caribbean, and parts of the Mekong region, criminal groups spread violence, fear, and insecurity in their effort to control trafficking routes. These groups undermine state authority and the rule of law. They spread corruption, compromise elections, and hurt the legitimate economy. In some countries, the huge profits generated through drug trafficking can rival gross domestic product. Drug trafficking also threatens to reverse advances in our peacebuilding efforts in Afghanistan, Haiti, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and elsewhere. This sobering reality underscores three fundamental points. First, drug trafficking is evolving into an ever graver threat that is affecting all regions of the world. It will require sustained political will and significant resources to counter this challenge. Second, the transnational nature of the threat means that no country can face it alone. This fight requires a comprehensive international approach based on a strong sense of shared responsibility. States must share intelligence, carry out joint operations, build capacity, and provide mutual legal assistance. So far, cooperation between governments is lagging behind cooperation between organized crime networks. Third, we need a more balanced approach to drug control. Such an approach should focus on reducing demand for drugs and the harm done by them, on promoting alternative development and the rule of law at the source of the supply, and on disrupting trafficking routes. Mr. President, the United Nations plays an important role in providing a framework for international cooperation in addressing this challenge. This framework is built around strong UN-backed legal instruments, including the UN Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. But more needs to be done to ensure that all states become parties to these instruments and that they are implemented more effectively. The UN is also a center of expertise. The UN Office on Drugs and Crime is seen as the authoritative source for information on trends in drug production, consumption, and trafficking. It also provides a capacity building in the areas of countering drug trafficking, money laundering, and corruption. And these efforts must be properly resourced. We should draw encouragement from the many promising and innovative initiatives that are taking place. These include regional partnerships with CARICOM, ECOWAS, and others, and strategic cooperation with Interpol and other organizations. From West Africa and the Caribbean to Central and Western Asia, these efforts are improving drug control cooperation, building consensus on cross-border issues, and promoting security and the rule of law. Excellencies, drug trafficking does not respect borders. Most of all, it does not respect people. It is a menace to the health of societies and individuals alike. It is associated with horrific abuse of women in particular. Those who run trafficking operations are ruthless and often murderous. We must pursue them and thwart them with the full force of law and international resolve. I call on member states to work with each other and to support the UN in this crucially important endeavor. And finally, I welcome the presidential statement that has just been adopted. Thank you very much.
In the past few years, the Council has looked at drug trafficking as a threat to peace and stability in a number of theaters already referred to by the Secretary General. Afghanistan, for example, West Africa, Central America, just to mention a few. Today I will report on new worrisome developments concerning both West and East Africa, as well as across the Saharan landmass. There are indeed reasons to worry. In the past, Africa, already suffering from so many tragedies, never had a drug problem. Today, under attack from several sides, the continent is facing a severe and complex drug problem. Not only drug trafficking, not only production, but also consumption. Serious consequences in terms of health, development, and security are inevitable, and I will demonstrate this aided by a set of maps that are under distribution as I speak. First, about West Africa, that is shifting now from coke trafficking to amphetamine manufacturing. West Africa, particularly Guinea-Bissau, has received a lot of attention by the Security Council because of the 50, 60 tons a year of cocaine trafficked through the region over the past few years. As I mentioned at this Council during the meeting in November, the recent discovery of 7 laboratories in Guinea-Conakry is evident that West Africa is also becoming a producer of synthetic drugs, amphetamines, and of crystal cocaine, refined from pasta basica. My second point is about East Africa, where we have detected heroin trafficking flows. This is very new. Indeed, on the other side of the continent, on the Horn of Africa, the 30 to 35 tons of Afghan heroin has been trafficked into East Africa every year. This is causing a dramatic increase in drug addiction of the worst type, namely heroin injection. It is also spreading HIV, as I witnessed 2 weeks ago in the slums of Nairobi and Mombasa. Drug treatment facilities are badly needed, and I urge donors to help. Drug trafficking is only one illicit activity in Eastern Africa, mainly because of the dramatic situation in Somalia. The region is becoming a free economic zone for all sorts of trafficking: drugs, migrants, guns, hazardous waste, natural resources, in addition to having the world's most dangerous waterways because of piracy.